The following program is produced by Project Bait and does not reflect the views of this station.
For my people is speaking with Jackie Dunn-Bell, and she's an organizer with the Moses organization, which for many years has been enabling congregations, people in the faith-based area, to focus on issues of concern in our community. Today she joins us to talk about what some have called in Michigan and in Detroit a food desert. Tell us what's happening on the food front in terms of what you're trying to have an impact on.
Well, presently, our grocery store coalition is still working to bring to the city of Detroit community supermarket. But as things go, often, that's kind of a long-term kind of a project because it takes a lot of work and it's going to take investors. It's going to take money to do that. And it's not something that we say, well, we want a supermarket and next week we have one. But in spite of that, Moses is also looking at not just the fact that there are no supermarkets within our city, but we're concerned about what makes up healthy communities, what makes up healthy food systems. So we have embarked on what we called a campaign to bring about equitable and sustainable food systems in our region. And as a part of that, we're working with trying to educate the members in our congregations, the leaders in our congregations, people in our community about those things that impact our food systems.
When you talk about the things that impact our food systems, what are they?
Well, so a lot of the things some of the things that impact our food systems. Number one is how is the grocery store in your community that is already in place? How is the food in those areas? How are the facilities? Are they handicap accessible? Those kinds of things. So what we've been working with our congregations is doing is what we call the grocery store checklist. First of all, to have citizens within the community, so the grocery stores that they purchase food from, to just use this condensed list that the Michigan Department of Agriculture uses as they monitor these stores to just check off the things that they're concerned about. Is the food fresh? Is it outdated? Is the temperature in the coolers what it's supposed to be? Is it clean? Is there a restaurant that is accessible? Is it handicap accessible? Because in the meantime, while we're waiting for the grocery stores, the supermarkets to come into our neighborhoods, we want to be able to work with the owners of those stores that are in our communities to say, let this be a win-win situation for both the residents of this community and you as a businessman in this community to work together to improve those things that we're concerned about for the citizens of this community. That's one way that we're doing it.
Let me ask you a couple of things. Now, obviously, you say waiting for. You're not just waiting for stores to come in. As we were talking earlier, you mentioned that you were supporting the growth of food and also establishing policy related to food in terms of the governmental institutions.
Exactly. One of the things that concern us is that there are policies and laws that are in place that determine what our food systems look like. And as it relates to the Farm Bill. So of course, Moses being an organizing entity, our goal is to educate our communities and then to begin to organize around the food justice issues, to be at the table where policies that concern the Farm Bill and concern our food systems are made so that we can have an impact on that. What we're finding is that because of these policies that determine our food systems, it is one of the major reasons why we are not healthy as people, particularly in those areas, those communities of color, and the communities where the lower economic populations are.
In terms of the growth of food, I mean, this is a big thing. A lot of people have gardens A lot of organizations have started that. Are you promoting that?
Absolutely. We are allies with the Greening of Detroit, as well as the Eastern Market, where people, community groups, and church groups and individuals, private individuals, are being encouraged and being supported as far as getting their land tilled, having access to tools and seeds to grow gardening. We're very much involved with urban gardening and working with these groups to make sure that people in the communities that do urban garden have a venue by which to sell the products from their garden. You know, one of our leaders from our congregations talked about teaching the long forgotten art of canning, so that we're just not growing foods, but we're learning how to preserve foods, so that when the gardening season has passed, people still have access to the foods from their gardens and still can eat healthy.
So essentially what you're doing is that we're going back to the source and we're learning how to create economies out of food.
Exactly.
For My People has been speaking with Jackie Dunn-Bell, who's an organizer with Moses, and about not only maybe it's not just a food desert, but what she's talking about is maybe making a desert flower. We thank her for joining us on this edition of For My People. If you'd like to find out more about this interview, then reach us on our website at projectbait.blackgold.net. Once again, that's projectbait.blackgold.net. And if you want to reach us on YouTube, go to youtube.com, put Project Bait, D-E-T, in the search box, and we'll be right there for you. We thank you once again for joining us on this edition of For My People, and in this case, eat healthy.
There are 3 basic necessities every business needs: a business plan, a bookkeeper, and a website. Call Project Bait for all 3. Call 313-871-3333. That's 313-871-3333.
If you are in business, you should promote your business in the Metro Business Information Guide. For more information, contact Chris Woodard at 645-2282. That's 313-645-2282.
Customer receipts, payroll, inventory, mailing label, tax reports. I've got computers, but my business still isn't organized. What can I do? You need the Office Assistant billing and bookkeeping software. Bring your business into the 21st century. Call Electronic Services 313-341-1821. That's 313-341-1821.
The preceding program was produced by Project Bait and does not reflect the views of this station.